Alright, I have a very interesting issue with a couple of Xbox drives here, so I figured I'd make a video while I'm going over figuring this out. So, as you can see, I've been going through these, just kind of seeing what works, and gonna probably part them out, but so I got one set up here, it's turned on. So, check out how loud this drive is when it's reading a disc. Popping Halo 2. Yeah, that's something else. And as you can see, reads the disc no problem, it's just extremely loud. I have the same issue with this other Philips drive right here. This seems to be happening with these Philips drives. So I'm gonna probably investigate this a little more tomorrow and take a closer look. As you can see, it's blowing up the game there, but yeah, just interesting. I have an idea on what's going on. I'll see if I'm actually able to fix it, but yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so I have two drives taken apart here. This is one of the Philips ones that's very loud. This is another drive I worked on a bit that's pretty quiet. The thing I've noticed about these Philips ones is that this magnet piece here is just straight metal. It doesn't have the plastic overcoat like on these ones. And both the Philips drives are very loud. I imagine this is what's causing the problem. Is just this metal spinning around very quickly, scraping on things, just being very loud and obnoxious. So, I mean, I can think of two ways to maybe mitigate this issue. The first way, probably the proper way, would be to get out these rivets and grab an old plastic magnet piece and switch it out and kind of rig it up like that. That's gonna be a little too much messing around for me. I don't want to do that on these. So option two I see is just take some silicone grease and grease it up. I imagine these things had some kind of lubrication on them out of the factory when they were new, because I mean they didn't make sounds like you heard on the previous clip when they were new. I'm guessing the lubrication's worn out. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I'm dealing with some pretty old equipment. There's not too much information online about this stuff. So yeah, I think my next step is I'm gonna get the silicone grease. I'm gonna try to spread it around this lip back there, so when it's making contact up here, it should be pretty quiet. I want to also get some under it if I can, but it's probably gonna be a little difficult to do that, but I'm gonna try to do that. So that's my next step. I'm gonna do that, put this drive back together, and see how it sounds. Alright, as you can see, got it hooked back up here. Now we're gonna see how loud this damn thing is now. See if my little theory worked out. Let's cross our fingers and hope for the best here. Alright, it's reading the disc, but it's still very damn loud. Definitely get some, turn this down there. If I can figure that out. Wrong way. Yeah, definitely get some slight variations in the sound when I push on the case here. I'm pretty sure the noise is just coming from that spindle there. I don't know, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Alright. Alright, since that quick fix I tried didn't work, I figure it's a good idea to try to isolate what the problem is, just basically verify that I'm actually working on the correct problem here. So I figured a good way to do that is we'll pop this off, let this spin a bit, just this part without this attached, and make sure that the problem is isolated to this top portion of the drive here. So we can turn it on, spin up a few times, and check for a disk. Doesn't find anything. Okay, so we know the problem has something to do with this piece here. My guess is either this magnet isn't sticking to this other magnet well enough, and we're getting some kind of sliding in there with the disc. That seems unlikely though, because if that was happening, I believe it would have a very hard time reading the disc, and it doesn't seem to have a hard time reading it. Just very loud metal scrapey noises. So my inclination is to believe that this is just scraping around here a lot. But yeah, I think it's one of those two things, more or less. So I don't know. I'm just gonna have to go to the drawing board and see if I can come up with anything. I don't know. I don't know if this is even worth fixing at this point, honestly, but I'll see if I can think of any other ideas. Alright, now this is kind of weird. Just for shits and giggles, I just put this back on here just to see what would happen. It's reading the disc right now. It's very quiet, like it should be. Yep, there it is. Very quiet. So let me actually show you what I think was going on here. Oh, give this a second. Alright, good enough. So I noticed that this portion here was pushed to the back of the board, and it wasn't like coming back down. So what I think happened was I got some lube in behind there, and it's just stuck up there, unfortunately. So I noticed that, and all I did was I just took a pen and just pulled it back up forward like that. So now it's not stuck back there. Then I put this on, and it was very quiet. So just to confirm that's what's going on, let me actually push this back up against here. It's gonna stay there because there's still that lube back there. Doing this all live. Look at that. Yeah, this is right. So let's just slide this on here. Just gotta get it over here. Okay, there. So it's on. Alright. So let's see how loud it is now. So if my guess is right, it's gonna be pretty damn loud now. Huh. Maybe not. Well, I'm just confused. Because last night it was extremely loud, so I put the silicone lube in there, the silicone grease, and tried it again. It was still very loud, so I'm not sure what the hell happened since yesterday. That is weird though. Seems to be fixed. So I'm just gonna go screw this back down, and yeah, we'll test it out for a while and see if it stays quiet. But shit, I might be done. That's weird. Alright, screwed it back in, plugged it in, immediately the noise is back. It's not quite as bad as it was before, but let me loosen these screws a bit and see what happens. Because that's kind of my only guess on this now, is that maybe when these screws are a certain tightness, this thing acts up. I don't know. Huh. Weird. Just go ahead and loosen these pretty much all the way here. The noise is still there. If I lift up here a little bit, it goes away. Interesting. Cat's being an asshole. Just ignore that. So you know what I'm gonna do? Let me try this. Let me tighten these back up all the way. Yeah, he's really going at it, man. So, alright. Now if we lift up here, does it go away? No. So I believe these have to be loosened a little bit so we can lift up a little more. Yeah, it's definitely starting to go away. Okay, let's loosen these up pretty much all the way there. Yep, goes away right there. Interesting. The easy way to get rid of this would just be kind of shove a shim in right here, right now. That wouldn't be the correct way though, but... Yeah, I could just shove a shim in. Be done with this. No one's ever gonna know. Actually, I don't even know if I can shove a shim into that spot. Maybe not, yeah. Alright, well, we at least found a way to get rid of the noise. So, I guess the next step's to take this apart again and, actually, you know, dang, just that much, just barely lifting this is causing all that noise to go away. Alright, so I'm gonna have to take this apart again and figure out how to proceed from here. Very weird problem. Alright, this is what I'm thinking on how to resolve this. So, I know if I have it, the screw's a bit loose and I pull up on this top part slightly, that the noise goes away. So what are we doing? So what's going on inside here when we're pulling up? Basically, this magnet is being pulled slightly away from the disc. So I'm thinking if I actually indent this in a little bit here, because I'm not pulling up much at all for that noise to go away. I'm thinking all I need to do is slightly indent this in. You know what? I think I see the problem now. So now I don't have to actually indent this in. I was a little worried about doing that too. This case is bent. Like, look at this shit. It's obvious what the problem is. The goddamn case is bent. So I bet if I just bend this back with my hands, this will fix it. So yeah, I'm gonna just kind of bend this back with my hands real quick, get it fairly straight, and try it again. Jeez. Alright, so got it all screwed back in, screws nice and tight. Case has been straightened out a bit, as you saw. And off camera, the damn belt in this started acting up, which is a pretty common problem with these old Xboxes. Although this belt had been working fine, but started acting up, probably because I was tinkering with it a bit. So off camera, took the belt out, cleaned it off with alcohol, cleaned the gearing off with some alcohol as well. So now it looks like it's working just fine now. Pop that in. Let's start the spin up there. Sounds nice and quiet. The laser sounds like it's a little janky at the start there, but besides that, this drive's quiet as hell. So yeah, I'm just gonna call that a success on this. Probably test this out a little bit more, make sure it's all stable, but throw this bitch up on eBay and get some money off this piece of shit. Take it easy.